Why Robert Kiyosaki says you'll stay poor unless you do this. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, going to school, working hard, saving money, but still not getting ahead financially? Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, believes that the reason most people stay poor isn't bad luck or lack of effort. It's mindset. According to Kiyosaki, the poor and middle class work for money. But the rich? The rich make money work for them. Let that sink in. Kiyosaki grew up with two father figures, his biological dad, the poor dad, and his best friend's dad, the rich dad. One followed the conventional path. Get good grades, get a stable job, save, and retire. The other focused on financial education, entrepreneurship, and building assets. Over time, Robert realized, formal education teaches people how to be employees, not how to be wealthy. Let's break down why he thinks most people stay broke, and how to escape the trap. Reason 1. Financial illiteracy. The average person spends 12 to 16 years in school, but learns almost nothing about money, how to manage it, how to invest it, or how to grow it. Kiyosaki argues this is by design. Schools teach you to be a good worker, not a wealthy owner.
Think about it. When was the last time someone taught you how taxes work, or how to buy real estate, or how to analyze a business? Most people don't understand the difference between assets and liabilities. That's a problem. Here's how Kiyosaki defines them. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. So your house. Not necessarily an asset, unless it's making you income. The rich focus on buying income-generating assets, rental properties, stocks, businesses. The poor, they accumulate liabilities they think are assets, like fancy cars or a big mortgage. Reason 2, fear and comfort. Most people are afraid of losing money. So they stick to what's safe, a job, a salary, a retirement plan. But Kiyosaki says security is an illusion. Jobs can disappear. Inflation eats away your savings. And relying on a pension or government aid. That's risky. The rich take calculated risks. They invest in things they understand, and they're not afraid to fail, because failure is how you learn. Poor dad said, go to school, get a job. Rich dad said, learn how money works, and build your own path. Reason 3, taxes and the system. Did you know that business owners and investors legally pay less in taxes than employees?
Kiyosaki breaks this down using the cash flow quadrant. E. Employee pays the highest taxes. S. Self-employed, still taxed heavily. B. Business owner builds systems, uses tax incentives. I. Investor, capital gains, lower tax rates. The rich understand tax laws and structure their finances around them. They form LLCs, reinvest profits, and use debt strategically. That's right, debt isn't always bad. Good debt buys assets that generate income. Bad debt buys liabilities. Think of a real estate investor using a loan to buy a rental property. The rent covers the mortgage, and the investor keeps the profit. The poor avoid all debt. The rich use it wisely. Reason 4. Working for money versus making money work. The poor trade time for money. Clock in, get paid. Clock out, and income stops. The rich? They build systems that generate cash flow whether they work or not. Businesses, intellectual property, real estate, they all make money while the owner sleeps. That's financial freedom. It doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with mindset. Ask yourself, am I working harder or smarter? Am I building assets or just collecting liabilities? Am I financially educated or financially dependent? Reason 5. Following the herd. Most people do what everyone else does. Go to college, get a job, buy a house, save for retirement. But that model is broken. Kiyosaki says if you want different results, you have to take a different path. The rich read, study, invest, and surround themselves with mentors. They don't follow trends. They study fundamentals. So what can you do right now? Start by building your financial education. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, and The Real Book of Real Estate. Track your income and expenses. Learn the basics of investing. Understand how taxes work. And start small. Invest in a stock, build a side hustle, or buy your first income-producing asset. If you're under 25, you have time on your side. Compound interest, experience, and smart risks will reward you more than any degree ever could. And if you're older? It's never too late to unlearn what school taught you and start thinking like the rich. Bonus concept. The real meaning of wealth. Kiyosaki defines wealth not as how much money you make, but how long you can survive if your income stopped today. If you stop working, could you survive for a month? A year? Forever? Wealth is measured in time, not dollars. So your goal shouldn't just be to get rich, it should be to become free. Financial freedom means you own your time. You don't answer to a boss. You don't worry about bills. You wake up and choose how you spend your day. Final thoughts. If you want to break free from the cycle of paycheck to paycheck living, you have to unlearn what most people believe about money. Don't just work harder, work smarter. Don't just save, invest. Don't just earn, build. Because unless you change how you think, you'll stay stuck. But if you take action today, learn, grow, and invest in assets, you can build a future where money works for you, not the other way around. As Kiyosaki says, the rich don't work for money, they make money work for them.
Before you can build wealth, you need to master yourself. Fear says, "What if I fail?" Laziness whispers, "I'll figure it out later." Kiyosaki teaches that these two emotions are what quietly rob you of your financial future. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to act despite fear. Start small, learn constantly, be consistent, because inaction costs more than mistakes. Here's a truth most people never learn. Debt isn't the enemy, ignorance is. Kiyosaki explains that the rich use good debt to buy assets, build cash flow, and scale their wealth. It's not about avoiding debt, it's about understanding how to leverage it. The poor borrow for vacations and gadgets. The rich borrow for rental properties, businesses, and investments. Once you grasp the difference, you'll never see money the same way again. You don't have to figure this all out alone. Every successful person you admire, they had a mentor, someone who challenged them, taught them, and kept them accountable. Your mentor might be a book, a YouTube channel, a podcast, or a local business owner. It doesn't matter where you start, just that you start learning from those ahead of you. Because success isn't luck, it's a process. And mentorship shortcuts that process. So ask yourself, who's guiding your journey right now?